All right, welcome back to another episode of Guitar Fundamentals. This one should be kind of quick. My job here is to just help inspire you in writing your own bridges, and also something else which we'll talk about at the end of the video. Bridges are a cool thing in music. They break up the chorus and the verse. They usually come after a chorus to help break up like a double chorus, maybe lead into a solo, that type of thing. And learning how to write a really interesting one is hard. When I listen to music and the song has a really good bridge, I always kind of like applaud them mentally, like, hey, really good bridge. And so today we're just going to talk about 3 ways to help kind of crack the glow sticks, as I say, and help inspire you to maybe jump out of what you would do normally and write a cool bridge that you like, of course. All right, so we're going to discuss writing bridge over a very simple chord progression. Now, don't roll your eyes. We're just going to use a G, a C, and a D. We're going to pretend our song or our chorus is G, C, and D. You can do everything I'm talking about in any key with any chords, but we're just going to stay with this for now. All right, so the first thing that you want to try is a tactic that works all the time that I hear is just spicing up your rhythm with the chords you already have in the chorus or wherever you are coming from. So here I have a G, C, and D, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually convert those to bar chords. You don't have to, G, C, and D, and I'm going to spice up my bridge with the same chords, maybe a different order, but nonetheless with a different rhythm. So check this out. This is number 1. If I was in that mood, that would be a totally acceptable bridge. Again, we're going to talk about 3 things, actually like 3.5. But spicing up the rhythm of the chords you have in a song is a great way to help inspire your bridge. I have to say this is just about inspiration. There are hundreds of ways to think about writing a bridge. You know, you might just hear it in your head. You might know some different theory. There are so many ways. This is just to help crack the glow sticks, as I call it. All right, the next method, or number 2, would be if you know what key you're in, if you know what you're doing, like as in like you're in G, C, and D, and you can say safely, okay, I'm in the key of G. Well, what you want to try doing is bringing in the chords of the key that you're not using, right? And so in the key of G, I have G major, A minor, B minor, C, D, E minor, F sharp diminished, or D7. There's a video here helping explain that. And so you want to think, what chords am I not using? Well, I'm not using the A minor, I'm not using the B minor, and that might be good enough. Let's just try that. And so I'm going to play my chorus, which is G, C, and D, and I'm going to bring in a B minor and A minor. Now I want to say this, when you choose this route and start to bring in chords that are in your key that you're not using, you're going to dramatically change the tone of your song, which might be a good thing. You might have a very happy song, you might have sad lyrics for the bridge. You want to try this out. And so the B minor and A minor is instantly going to change the vibe. It's not going to ruin the song, it will change the vibe in a good way. And you usually, when you do this, want to bring it back to whatever the last chord of the chorus was to help kind of glue it together. So watch for this type of mentality and see how if it works for you. And there we go, here we go. Great, it sounds fine. You just want to warrant it. And again, you want to try this stuff out. I'll do it again with the E minor, and I want to say this on my Patreon video, you're going to be practicing writing bridges with me, and I came up with this poem on YouTube. The information is free. Excuse me, on YouTube the information is free, and on Patreon you get to practice with me. It took me a week. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the E minor, all right, this time around, maybe to the A minor. Let's just listen for the same thing. I'm bringing chords in from the key that I didn't use. works fine. So if you like this style, then you know what? Write some songs. You might have some songs in different keys, but you understand the concepts, and go see if you can inspire yourself to write a bridge. I want to say one thing before we get to number 3, which is, you can start off by cracking the glow stick, or cracking the eggshell and getting inspired, but then your ear might take you in a totally different place. Mission accomplished. All right, you might say, okay, I'm going to start off with the E minor, and all of a sudden you might hear something else, and just go with it. It doesn't have to be strict. What we're trying to do is get you to jump out of the airplane with the backpack on. You're being like, okay, just get some momentum going. That's what we're trying to do. All right, so what we're going to do is the third one. Now, the third one has a part A and it has a part B. And to me, I hear this, even not hear this all the time, but when I do hear it, I'm like, that is good. So let me show you. It takes a little bit of theory and talking. If I have a chorus of G, C, and D, the first thing you want to do is find out what your last chord is on the part you were coming from. It's a D. All right, and so you want to treat this D note as it is, you want to treat this D note as if it is the major third, or the third note in a major scale. So let me show you how to do that. This is a D note. All right, you find a D on the A string. D on the A string is 5th fret. To find the major scale in which this is the third note of, you just go one string toward your face to the E string and 1 fret up. There it is. This is a B flat. This is a D. This would be the root note, and this would be the major third. And what you want to do is you want to go to this note here as a major chord. Now, before we do that, I just want to test that skill again. Let's say we ended up on an A. All right, it's like, okay, how do we find out what note that is the major third of? We go to an A, we find the A string could be here, but we can go all the way to 12th fret. Now 1 string up and 1 fret over is an F, so you would go to an F major. And so I want to show you the sound first of what that sounds like, just the change. Uplifting, really cool. It's not unexpected. It sounds like it fits. It's a beautiful chord change. So now that we have that idea, I'm going to show you part A and part B. I've heard several combinations of going to this, all right, and then coming up a whole step, and then coming up even more of a whole step, and you get back to the note you started on. That's a D. I've heard plenty of bridges that go from this note, they climb up a whole step and a whole step, and you're back to that D. So let's just see what that sounds like. You can combine it also with step number 1, changing up your rhythm. Works. So that's number 3, part A. Number 3, part B is still going to this. Now, this is the hardest one. So you can pause, rewind, slow it down if you need to. You're going to treat this note here. I'm going to say something, you're going to go what, and I'm going to show you. You want to treat this note here as the second note of a minor pentatonic, form 1. Watch. This note here, you want to treat it, you want to go 3 frets back, 1, 2, 3. And you want to treat it as that note there. I'll show you. You have the pentatonic form 1, 3, 6, 3, 5, 3, 5. Just this little piece. These notes right here, G, B flat, C, D, F, and G. You want to treat it as that note there. And then you can feel free to play any one of the other notes of the pentatonic as major chords. All right, so that's a G major, B flat major, C major, D major, and F major. And so I can hunt these chords down. That's an F. And you're going to get a really cool kind of movement of the pentatonic. It sounds really good for bridges. I've heard it in several songs, so let me show you what it sounds like. Again, I want to say this. You might have the intent of doing that. You might hit the first note, go to the second note, and just start to hear things. Go with what you're hearing Again, this is just to start the flow, the confidence that you can write your own bridge that's really tasty, that's not something that's just the same chords over and over again. I will tell you, if you made it this far in this video, I do have a pet peeve about like modern radio-friendly music, which is it's the same chord progression, but the verse, the chorus, and the bridge are just different vocals on top of it. And to me, it's like, okay, well, the music never changed. And if you like that, that is fine. But if you want to write a standalone bridge, I just want to inspire you and show you how to maybe get into that realm. I want to say one last thing before we go. These don't have to be bridges necessarily. There are two examples of guitarists or bands that use this trick I'm about to say, which is Jimi Hendrix and definitely Guns N' Roses, where instead of writing a bridge, they might have a bridge, but they'll write a second bridge that's totally different from everything else. That is the start of their guitar solo. And then that guitar solo leads back to a chorus where the solo continues. So you might see a chorus that's like this. And then you see the guitar solo come in like whatever. I'm just gonna hum stuff. And so you don't have to, so you don't have to necessarily write them as bridges. You can write them as your guitar solo part A. And I hope this is making sense. These are just 3 ways to help inspire you to get creative. And let me know in the comments if I did my job. Again, if you want to practice writing with me, you can join me on Patreon. And with that being said, thank you for watching another episode of Guitar Fundamentals, and hopefully I will see you soon. Bye-bye.